Hey everybody, I'm only a couple of minutes late and that's my fault. I'm here with Todd Fleenor and I printed out his bio, but again, just like with the other stuff, you guys can go online to read the bio, but I do want to point out a couple of things. Thank you for your service as a Marine. I'll try to use small words for you.
I knew that was coming.
So,
I knew that was
as
coming.
a Navy guy, I had to. Right?
Yes, yes.
But you've also just recently retired from the Sheriff's Office here in St. Mary's County as well. Thank you for your service there.
Thank you.
And you've been also part of other police departments, and you've had a good career. And thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Unless there's something else that you want to say before we get started, I was going to dive into the questions.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Folks online, let me know if you can't hear. I got a third person this time watching. In fact, if you pull it up on your phone, you might be able to see the comments better than on my phone. So first question. Day one of the Sheriff Fleenor administration, what are your top 3 priorities that either you want to change something, continue something, or modify, or whatever? What are your top 3 to-do things?
That's a good question, and I've already addressed it in my website. And I think that Sheriff Cameron has just started this yesterday, but my number 1 priority would be to start a task force down in the south end of the county, the Lexington Park area, the Great Mills area, and that's because of all the shootings we've had. That would be my number 1 priority, and it would consist of not just us, it would consist of state police and other allied agencies also. You can't go a day, 2 days without a shooting down there, so that would be my number 1 priority. My second priority is the overdoses. We have a extremely high rate of overdoses in the county. So I would start to implement a program such as like they're doing over in Calvert County with the crisis management and stuff like that. The third is I would absolutely revamp the internal administrative investigations and the OPR with the Sheriff's Office. I believe there's a big disconnect between the administration and the rank and file.
Okay, so you're trying to close that gap.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So kind of picking up off of that a little bit. In your bio, you say that one of your goals is to bring back. Let me just quote it exactly. Bring back respect to the St. Mary's County Sheriff deputies.
Well,
could you elaborate on that?
Sure. I believe as a society, not just St. Mary's County deputies, I believe that we're getting on the path of not respecting the law enforcement anymore, not having the honor with these men and women every single day is they come out and risk their lives, and that is the theory of the hug a thug, or the kinder and gentler theory of I believe which some of the society is going towards. It's not going to be anymore with my administration if I get elected. I believe the men and women of St. Mary's County are truly the best, and I believe St. Mary's County doesn't want to fall into the surrounding areas such as PG and DC and other counties like that into of police reform and all of that stuff.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Here recently, some folks that I work with, we've been talking about how cars are getting broken into in their neighborhoods, and even community right here in Leonardtown had somebody in broad daylight do a home invasion here within the last week, and I'm hearing that's spreading throughout the county. What advice would you have as sheriff for citizens of our county as to how to prepare for that, what to do in smaller communities around the county in order to try and nip it in the bud, or anything else that you might have to add to that?
Well, let's make no mistake about it. I know Sheriff Cameron has a different opinion of this, but the crime rate in St. Mary's County, the violent crime rate, is the highest it's ever been. In my 22 years here, it is. Whether you reclass it as one thing or another, everything's going up. I would like to get back to having foot patrols in the communities. I've been to every single community around here. In this county. I believe if we get more of a community-based presence in the communities and get the neighborhood watches going again, I believe that would be a start.
Okay, cool. All right, let's talk about maybe red flag laws and no knock raids at 0 dark 30 and stuff like that. That doesn't seem to be a huge problem here in St. Mary's.
It's
and I,
not.
of course, don't want it to be. But what is, it's your philosophy for no knock raids and red flag laws
Listen,
and stuff like that?
we need no knock raids. Should we have a little bit more precaution? Absolutely. But I believe the safety of the law enforcement officers are coming first on these no-knock search warrants. I was a part of the emergency services team for 4 years. I did these no-knock raids, and sometimes when you have information that calls for those, you still need those no-knock raids. I would, suggest that we continue to do them. Now, would there be more precaution in them? Absolutely.
Okay. And what do you mean by more precautions?
So I like to do like intelligent-led policing and stuff. If we know the guy is armed, if we know the suspect is armed, and we have that considerable amount of danger, then of course it should be a no-knock. But if we don't have up-to-date, legitimate information on on this guy, then we'll go with the knock and announce. But if he's just been arrested 2 weeks ago for a felony gun charge, or if we believe that there's going to be in danger to the men and women of the sheriff's office, we're going to go with the no knock.
Okay. All right. Earlier this year, people up in Annapolis, our wonderful legislature up there, tried to do away with qualified immunity, and it's not the first time that they went after it. They weren't successful. I just wonder if you had any thoughts on that, and what would your reaction be?
I don't think we should take away qualified immunity from the police officers, and in fact, I'm going to do everything I can if I'm elected to keep all the law enforcement officers' Bill of Rights to the best of my ability, even if they continue to strip away our rights.
Okay. A lot of people, I don't think, understand what qualified immunity is.
So qualified immunity is if an officer couldn't be charged with certain things because we have qualified immunity, and they're trying to take that away, and where they could attack and sue the police officer if they got into a shooting or things of that nature.
Okay. So a couple of years ago, we were talking before the interview. A couple of years ago, as we were talking, this community here was a huge push, a huge force, and we got support from Sheriff Tim Cameron, the District Attorney, Mr. Fritz, and all the commissioners in order to become a Second Amendment sanctuary, which is really cool. My question for you is, as sheriff, what would that mean to you?
It means everything to me. I believe we should be a sanctuary community. I believe in the Second Amendment. I'm a constitutional guy. I love it.
Okay. As a constitutional guy, what kind of relationship does the office of the sheriff and the Constitution, how do they relate in your mind?
So the sheriff's office has to abide by the Constitution. We're an elected position, okay, and there's three things: the serving paperwork, the courthouse, and the jail. But there's also, like the Second Amendment, I believe that we should all have guns. I don't believe they should be able to take away from us. I believe it's their right to have them. I believe in the Constitution, and yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Speaking of the Constitution, let's shift gears to COVID and some of the things that have happened in our community here because of COVID restrictions and stuff like that. Calls coming in to, complaints about people conducting services at a church, wanting the sheriff's office to shut it down.
I don't believe it's our place.
Okay.
I don't believe it's our place. I don't believe it's our place to do what the sheriff's office did with a certain
Hardware store?
Hardware store, yes. And I've already talked with that individual, and I don't believe it's our place to do it.
Yeah, it seemed pretty unfair that Walmart,
100%,
100 stores are open.
100%.
Little town
I believe
shut down.
Yep, I believe it's their right. A merchant can tell someone that they want them to leave. They have every right to tell them to leave their establishment. They should have every right to, if they don't want to wear a mask, don't go into that store.
Okay. Shifting gears again, as sheriff, how important do you think that relationship is with the district attorney's office?
The state's attorney's office?
Yeah.
I believe it's hugely important.
Okay.
I believe, and I do, I think we do right now. You have to work in sequence. You can't go off script and go do your own thing. You guys have to be on your same page. I believe the cooperation is the key, and like I said, I think I have it on my website or something. The early release is for grade school kids and kindergarten. I want harsher penalties, and I want these violent criminals locked up. And without the support of the state's attorney's office and everything like that, if you don't work together, you're not going to get that.
Okay. So is there one particular candidate that you would prefer over the others? Care to make any news?
I will. I'll tell you. I believe I have no problems whatsoever with Jamie Sterling. No problem at all with her. I think she is a nice lady, but yeah, I'm supporting Rick Fritz.
Okay. Sorry to put you on the spot.
You did.
Like
I didn't think that was coming, but yeah. I don't think that's a secret either. Anyway.
Okay. Cool. I hadn't asked you before, so
I think yeah. The other two might be on a different page than me. I'm pretty sure of that.
All right. So another issue that has come up here in the last couple of years that has affected the sheriff's office and the deputies is all about noise and noise ordinances. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, you talking about with vehicles and stuff like that?
Well, I think there was an initiative by one of the commissioners to pass a new noise ordinance that would have shut down the ability for people to shoot on their own property or even use a
I'm not
blower.
I'm not familiar with that, but yeah, I can see where this is going and why it was addressed. I'm sure. Yeah, I know the dealings behind that.
Okay. Any thoughts on how your sheriff's office would respond if something like that were put into place and you'd have to enforce it?
Listen, I believe that if a person has all the legal requirements and all the regulations of shooting, they should be able to shoot on their property.
Okay.
Now, you have to have common sense too. You can't be going out there shooting at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, just to piss off your neighbors. There has to be a relationship here, And I'm more of a common sense person instead of getting down to into the weeds. So I'm familiar with what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. Shifting gears to I think what will probably be the last topic, unless something pops into my head.
Okay.
There's, I guess, two topics. One that's kind of serious, and then maybe one that's for fun.
Okay.
All right. So, the topic of morale in the sheriff's office and retention of qualified folks and all of that comes up every so often, competing with the other surrounding police departments, and the pay, compensation, and stuff like that is always in the mix. What are your thoughts on how your administration as sheriff, how would you approach retaining people, improving morale, stuff like that?
Listen, I think this is simple, and it's been going on for years, and we continue to lose good people or turn away good people, or it's when I say I want to revamp the Office of Professional Responsibilities and the internal investigations, it's because of that. I think, these men and women with the sheriff's office, I truly believe, I've been a patrol supervisor for a number of years also, along with the K-9 supervisors, and I've heard it from numerous rank and file people. They are more afraid to come to work and deal with the administration over the little stuff, of fear of getting under investigation, suspended, written reprimands. They're afraid of all of that stuff, demotions, rather than being afraid of coming out and getting shot or in fights or doing their job. They're afraid of the administration. That is the main part, I believe, where the retention will soar if we stop with the charging of minor policy violations and handle them as training issues instead of charging everybody and suspending everybody. I believe the retention, we wouldn't have a problem with retention.
Okay.
I believe we get paid good. I've never heard, always, money is always in everybody's brains. Everybody wants more money, but no one, the rank and file is not upset about their pay now. They want to be comparable with other agencies, and that's just, so they don't go anywhere else. But I think we're comparable to the surrounding agencies right now. They want to be, they want their supervisors to have empathy, and they don't want them to come out every day and bad. And who wants to come to work like that? They have enough worries coming out here every day and doing their job.
Okay. All right, a little lighter stuff.
All right, let's do it.
All right. I did this with O'Connor as well. I asked him what his favorite pistol was.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, I was a SWAT guy with my dog for 4 years, and I really did like the Springfield 1911 we carried.
1911. Over 100 years old, still in service.
I really, and if I had a chance to get that gun back, I would.
Yeah. Okay. Rifle? Best rifle? Your favorite rifle?
My AR.
Which one?
I got a Colt AR, and it was built by one of my buddies, so it's a little different of everything.
Okay. Gotcha.
But
and favorite shotgun?
Has to be. I'm an old school guy. I'm not. It has to be the Remington 870.
Cops are always the same.
Because
go with the 870, old reliable. I get it.
Listen, it's I grew up with that, and it's that's just me.
That was my first gun. 8 years old. A little bit different configuration than what you guys drove around in squad cars with, though.
Yeah. So.
All right, and last question. This O'Connor didn't get this one, but best canine.
My dog.
Best breed. Best.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the dogs I've had through my career, or what do I think the best breed is?
What do you think the best breed is for
well, I've had
working dogs?
I've had two outstanding dogs, and they're two different breeds. It's all depending on the training. I had my very first dog, Roni, was a black German Shepherd, and then I had a Belgian Malinois that was awesome, named Yannick. If the German Shepherd is more methodical, the Belgian Malinois will, if you light that pier on fire, will go right through it.
They're fearless.
And so in my younger days, I would say Belgian Malinois, more energetic, but in my older days, I would say a German Shepherd.
Gotcha.
So if that makes any sense.
Any questions from online? Not that you can see? All right. Get ready to cut our feed. Thanks, St. Mary's. If you have any other additional questions, comment below.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I was just going to turn the camera over to you and let you run with it. So it's your turn, actually.
Okay. I just want to say, I'm not a politician. This is all new to me. I have not had social media in my entire life until this campaign. And I think right now, more than ever, we need a cop's cop as the sheriff of St. Mary's County and not a politician. And I believe I'm that guy.
All right. Awesome.
That's it.
All right. Thanks. And sorry about cutting that off.